So today we're going to go through some tips and tricks on how to finish Season 4 on normal mode. That's the final boss stage. We are going to do this by playing through the stage on screen while I chat about some tips. So if you don't want any spoilers on what the final stage looks like, please turn off the video now. So without further ado, let's dive into my top 3 tips. The first of which is that you need to bring at least one minion destroyer. It is possible to do this stage without a minion destroyer, but it is extremely difficult, and I've heard feedback that it's taken some players up to an hour to beat normal mode without an out-and-out minion destroyer. So now is the time to level up that Captain of Diamonds or your Gobbler. Costume Gormick is the other 4-star that I have in mind for destroying minions. Maybe you're lucky enough to have a 5-star, but I would recommend, if possible, trying to take at least 2 minion destroyers. We'll go into why in just a moment. But as a reminder, Hero Academy 8 enables you to get 4 stars from the past events, including Captain of Diamonds. So if you don't have any minion destroying heroes so far, that is the cheapest way of trying to get a minion destroyer. My second tip is to bring healers, ideally overhealers. Now, overhealers enable you to get up to double the HP for each of your heroes, which is handy for any stage, but they are particularly useful here because potentially you are going to be facing a lot of fiends. So if you don't have 2 minion destroyers, I would double up on healers, preferably over healers. And the third thing to remember when choosing your team is that ailments do not work on enemies in this stage. This includes all of your favorite ailments such as defensive down, elemental defensive down, and attack down. This also covers stacks. For example, if you were thinking of bringing Skadi for her stacks as well as minion destroying capability, her stacks won't work here. Neither will Beera's ailments that stop your opponents from making minions. Also, mana control won't work here. Your opponents are immune to mana cutting, mana blocking, mindless attacks, etc. So don't bring those either. We will come back to all of those 3 tips in more detail after we've discussed how the stage works. The final fight consists of 3 battles. The first battle has you facing a standard Moreau on a normal map mode. Dr. Moreau is joined by 2 foot soldiers. These foot soldiers can revive if you kill them first, so I recommend using all of your attack power on Dr. Moreau, kill the meat, then the potatoes so they don't revive, and then you can move on to the next part of the battle. In the second battle, you're facing a possessed Dr. Moreau, and it's basically a Titan battle like you've seen in seasons before this. He has a weak spot where he can be stunned. After finishing the second battle, the third battle is pretty much the same. The possessed Dr. Moreau boot and rallies. He comes back worse for wear, like someone who's been at the bar far too long. And in the third part of the battle, he has no weak spot. So now let's go over some things to remember when you are picking your teams. The biome effects mean that holy heroes are blinded every 5 turns. So you may not want to pick holy heroes like I did. Luckily I have Guardian Gazelle that can actually cleanse that blind, so I can use holy tiles to their full effect. It could actually be beneficial for you to use dark heroes against the dark enemies, because dark heroes actually receive 50% attack up every 5 turns. And just to remind you again, enemies have innate resistance to all ailments and stacks. Again, no defensive down, no anti-healing, no attack down ailments will work on any enemies in this stage. The boss will also dispel your buffs every 5 turns, so they will need some timing. And if that wasn't enough, the big boss will heal himself every 5 turns. And again, anti-healing ailments do not work on this boss. Believe me, I tried with Bei Young. So let's revisit the fact that anti-minion destroyers are so important for this boss. In his Titan-like form, Demi Moreau has special skills as follows: 100% damage to all enemies unless your heroes have more than 50% health, in which case they receive a 200% hit. More importantly, he summons 3 times Protector minions with a whopping 2000 HP each. If you don't get rid of those Protector minions quickly, those Protector minions will summon Shade Fiends every 3 turns. These Fiends will give your heroes minus 26% accuracy, as well as absorbing your healing. Whilst your heroes have those Fiends, they are going to be attacking with 13% attack every single turn. Needless to say, it seems like the only good tactic for this final boss is to get rid of all of those minions immediately before they have a chance of spawning those Fiends. So again, I recommend bringing at least 1 minion destroyer, ideally 2 mana pots, to make sure you always have a chance of firing those minion destroyers. Bring overhealers or just standard healing options in order to heal your heroes, and maybe get rid of those Fiends if they do appear. And finally, remember, when you are picking for the last members of your team, ailments and negative stacks won't affect this boss, so do pick your heroes accordingly. Right, that's all the time we have for today. Please comment below with any tips you have that help clear the final stage of Season 4. As always, thanks for watching and goodbye.